The TV show Maverick was the brainchild of Roy Huggins. And he was also the creator behind The Fugitive, 77 Sunset Strip, and The Rockford Files, plus a whole lot more of shows I'm not mentioning. There was very few people in Hollywood that was able to blend gripping action with the humor like Roy Huggins did. There was never quite a Western like Maverick. It was funny, working off the charm of its star, James Garner. And then, of course, it actually had two leading men, and that would be the other unique feature of this series. Jack Kelly joined the series midway through the first season as Bart Maverick. He was the handsome brother of Brett, played by James Garner. The two would switch off lead roles week to week, and then they would occasionally team up for some really standout episodes. Later on, there was a certain dapper Englishman who would join the cast too, and we'll get to that in just a bit. Now, producer Roy Huggins stated that the writers of the show, their guiding principle for the TV series in general was the belief that in a traditional Western, the situation was always serious but never hopeless. In the Maverick storyline, the situation is always hopeless but never serious. Early in the first season, it became really clear that they were falling behind in the schedule of shooting the program. To be able to actually provide new episodes on a weekly basis, a second lead was brought in, and that was Bart Maverick, played by Jack Kelly. The two units filmed everything concurrently. They had Brett episodes filming at the same time that Bart episodes were filming. And then occasionally they would feature ones where they would both be in it. They used this combination of the brothers' production model for the first 4 seasons. And it's interesting to notice that Jack Kelly was the only Maverick star to appear in all 5 seasons of the series. And after Jack Kelly actually left the show, he ran for mayor of the city of Huntington Beach in California. The slogan that he used when he was running was "Let Maverick solve your problems." The series featured 2 different takes on the character of Doc Holliday. In the first season, Gerald Moore played Holliday as a hard-living and ruthless gunslinger. In seasons 4 and 5, Peter Breck played Holliday as a more comedic rogue that was constantly getting Bart in trouble with his various schemes. During the first season, James Garner filmed several little vignettes that aired at the beginning of the Jack Kelly-only episodes, where the evening story would be introduced. This was done in order to get the viewers used to the idea of a second Maverick. Although the well-known theme song introduces the audience to Maverick and describes his lifestyle, it contains 2 factual errors in relation to the Maverick creed. The song states, "Luck is his companion, gambling is his game." And it later states, "Luck is the lady that he loves the best." However, it's pointed out that regular viewers can hear all the various Mavericks say repeatedly throughout the series that the game of poker is a science, and although they play the game, they do not gamble. The Mavericks also state regularly that they play poker using a substantial knowledge of the odds, and they do not rely on luck. The Madcap Season 4 episode, called Hadley's Hunters, trots out numerous cameos from other Warner Brothers westerns. You can spot John Russell and Peter Brown from Lawman. You can also see Clint Walker from Cheyenne and Will Hutchins from Sugarfoot. And then there's Ty Hardin from Bronco. In addition to all those, Ed Burns from 77 Sunset Strip also pops up. He's actually combing the mane of a horse in the episode. Now, the episode called Shady Deal at Sunny Acres was James Garner's favorite episode. And this probably had something to do with the fact that he got to spend a lot of time in that episode comfortably whittling in a rocking chair. It's also a flat-out brilliant piece of television, which carries many similarities to the classic film The Sting. The episodes with both Brett and Bart Maverick in them were just all in all special. They were the best episodes. Warner Brothers really recycled some of the Maverick scripts for another TV show, in part due to the 1960s Writers Guild of America strike, and in part because they were penny pinching like the Warner Brothers always did. The Alaskans were actually taking the scripts from Maverick and changing names and using them in their production. Roger Moore noticed this consistently, and after the Alaskans was canceled, he made the leap right to Maverick, joining the cast as Bo Maverick. Now there's one of the episodes that used the recycled famous set from Casablanca. The episode Escape to Tampico pays homage to the Hollywood classic. Much of the action takes place in La Cantina Americana, and this is an obvious nod to Rick's Cafe from the film. The cantina itself was constructed from the set of Rick's Cafe, and the costumes are quite similar too. Now, James Garner was just kind of ahead of his time. He was gifted physically, and he had moves that were unbelievable. In the wonderful Two Brother episode called Pappy, you see this firsthand. He was all sort of doing the rope-a-dope boxing technique before Muhammad Ali popularized it. In the season 1 episode called Stampede, Brett sets up a boxing match between two bruisers. When one of the boxers quit, Brett must step in and face the burly gentleman. He lies on the ropes to win the day. At the top of each episode, you hear a commanding voice proclaiming Maverick, starring Jack Kelly and whatever lead there was playing that week. The man behind the deep voice was Ed Reimers, who from 1957 to 1979 was the one that was telling TV audiences that they were in good hands with Allstate. It's fun to note that he also appeared as Admiral Fitzpatrick in the classic Star Trek episode, The Trouble with Tribbles. Now on April 7th, 1929, in Norman, Oklahoma, the actor James Garner was born into this world as James Bumgarner. Perhaps that's how we would know him today if he hadn't made his way to Warner Brothers. After he had an array of jobs, he got a break as an actor in 1956. The studio started billing him as Garner instead of Bumgarner without asking his permission. Once he started getting popular, it really didn't matter. Now, Roger Moore actually complained to the studio once he was employed there about the long hours that the studio was requiring the cast and production crew to put in. He was really irritated about it. In response to that, the studio decided not only to punish him, but to punish everybody else on the set. They did this by making the actors punch in every morning and punch out when they left. Moore just refused to do it. He brought his own makeup and never punched in. Jack Kelly got so irritated about it at one time, and he took the clock and used it as a football one day in the production lot. Roger Moore eventually left the series over what he felt like was a real decline in the script quality. He's actually stated many times that he hated leaving the show and that he probably would have stuck around had the scripts been more like the earlier season scripts that were written for the show. In 1960, James Garner sued the Warner Brothers studio for breach of contract. All of this arose from his suspension during the writers' strike of that year. Warner claimed that there were no scripts available during the strike and that they therefore were justified in suspending Garner without pay. But it was learned during court testimony that the studio had secretly obtained 100 television scripts during the strike, and he was released from his contract from the series. Now, who doesn't like to see James Garner in anything? You mix that with Roy Huggins producing the program, and you've got a bona fide hit on your hands. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.